Hampshire LAKESCAST.
Today we're in the heart of Laconia again on Canal Street, right downtown. We're going to explore one of America's oldest professions, a place filled with timeless tradition and rustic heritage. This is Daub's Cobbler Shop. All right, everybody, I'm here with Jim Daub, the owner of Daub's Cobbler Shop. How you doing today, sir?
Doing well. How about you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me in your shop. It's beautiful. How many years have you been a cobbler?
I started in 2011.
So, Jim, tell me about how you became a cobbler.
So, midlife crisis. I grew up doing leather work, leather tooling and things like that, and then working in barns. Did a little tack repair and things like that as a teenager. I was selling on the road and really getting tired of just working for a company, and decided to start looking for something that I could do that nobody else could do. I'm driving through Vermont one day and past dusty roads, shoe repair up in Vermont, and it just hit me that I can do. I know I can do it. So I started investigating. I worked with this fella named Dusty for a few days and just really got to love it. And then I started visiting other cobbler shops. Once I did that, I just got the bug. It's not that I love shoes and I love leather. Of course I do, but I love small business.
Right.
I grew up in a small town. I was paper boy downtown, and being in a downtown area, community means everything. And
Exactly.
That's what the attraction was for me.
Where I'm from, there wasn't a ton of cobbler shops, at least that I remember. Immediately moving here, this was one of the first businesses I saw. I moved to New Hampshire a couple of years ago. I decided to walk downtown Laconia. So I'd park my truck down here, I'd walk around, and I'm like, there's a cobbler shop. You know, I didn't think there was any left. So when I came in here and I saw that there was a cobbler shop, I walked past the shop, I looked inside the shop, and I said, I wish I had a pair of shoes that were worth bringing there. Well, just because, working on shoes and sneakers and stuff and trying to make them nice and stuff over the years, trying to save myself some
Right.
money. You look at stuff like this and you're like, I could never do this. I could never, I don't have anything nice enough to spend the money to get a resole done or condition the leather, or just, there's definitely a premium quality that you bring to people. You're helping people save their shoes.
Right.
You're helping people save money. Even if they have to spend money on a resole, at least they're not spending another $400 on shoes.
Right. It is. It's sustainability. Most people think that shoe repair is all older people. But what we're finding is it's actually young people like yourself, my son Nate, that are looking, this pair of boots I bought in 1989. And I still wear them 3-4 times a week. When someone sees that, they say, okay, I want that.
I'm just not used to stuff lasting that long. And
Right.
maybe it's a fault of my own. Maybe I haven't taken care of my stuff the best. But I mean, as I get older, I'm realizing I don't want to be in the store every couple of years getting a new pair of boots. I don't want to be,
Yeah, we hate shopping.
yeah, I don't want to be in there, especially like right now I'm wearing my cheap shoes. I got them on
Yeah.
clearance. It is what it is. When it's their time, they'll go. But I want to get into more premium shoes that are going to last me 30, 40 years.
Right.
You know, and I mean, that's right there. That's 40 years. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I would have never guessed that leather looks beautiful. The sole looks a little bit worn, but I know as soon as it wears out, you can put a brand new one on.
It's time to do it. I'm not afraid of thrift storing. We were hand to mouth for years. My church shoes were always wingtips that I got from St. Vincent de Paul or something like that. I just kept them going. But before I was a cobbler, I used DJ down in Concord, at United Shoe. In the military, around the bases, we always had shoe repair or tailors or whatever, so you could keep things going. And today, I think what you look at more than anything is the quality of the materials. We get snookered all the time. You see something that looks really good. You saw a pair yesterday that you said, those look nice. And they do. They look phenomenal.
And then you pick them up and you read the
Right.
maker's mark on the shoe and you're like, oh, okay, these
Right.
are,
They're still a
Yeah.
beautiful shoe.
right.
They still get everybody's attention, but in the long run, they're not really worth resoling.
Right.
We can put new heels on them, keep them going for a couple of years. The one thing that I tell everybody, especially in New England, is in the wintertime, if it's nasty and mucky and salts on the sidewalks and parking lots, don't wear your good footwear. Wear your LL Bean boots,
Right.
the rubber boots and,
Well, and I struggle with that myself. You know, I've wanted to get better quality shoes. I used to work
Right.
in the trades, so I used to only wear one pair of boots every single day.
Right.
Now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I like to have the variety. I like to have my church shoes, my going out shoes,
Right.
my casual shoes. You know, it's hard to spend a couple $100 on a good pair of shoes just for it to snow and have
Right.
salt everywhere. And so I kind of struggle with that myself just because I want to look nice when I go out.
Right.
You know, I don't want to have to wear my old boots that I'm not afraid to mess up because of that. So it's nice that you also sell, things that are going to protect them
right.
at the same time. One winter straight, I wore a pair of muck boots. That was the only thing I ever wore. They were like the 10-inch
Right.
up muck boots. And looking at what you've had in the shop so far, I'm actually inspired to spend a couple $100 pretty soon and get myself into a nice pair that are going to last.
Right.
So
And what do you buy? Where do you go? The best intro shoe that you can find is probably Thursday Boot Company.
I've heard of Thursday.
They're great footwear, but they're probably the $200 to $300 pair of shoes.
Right.
Pair of boots. You get into Alden's, which are made right down in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at $600 for a pair of dress shoes.
Oh my goodness.
They're the most comfortable shoes in the world.
So what I've noticed is I actually have a few pairs of Bass, and I know
Yes.
that they're nothing like they used to be, but
Right.
they're still manageable.
Right.
Maybe they're not worth more than buying a new pair for the resole, but I like the fact that maybe one day I'll be able to say I've had those shoes for 40 years.
Right.
Even if they're not the highest quality, even if maybe they're a $150 pair of boots, maybe I can keep them and take care of them. And I actually just got another pair from St. Vincent de Paul,
Right.
brand new pair of Bass. I
Right.
needed some black church shoes, and I went there a couple, I think $7-8.
Right.
So at that point, if I need to resole those, I'm willing to spend that money because I got them so cheap.
Right. And the Bass Ouija is probably one of the most popular shoes. But it's also the last shoe that Bass made that was a decent quality shoe.
And I did my research on it after. I've had a couple pair of like Bass loafers. I've
Right.
had a couple pair of just like not exactly like the dress boots, kind of like the in between.
Right.
You could wear them for work, but if you needed to wear them in the church, nobody would look at you cross-eyed.
Right.
This last pair that I got are kind of like the same thing, but I think that they're nice enough to be considered dress boots.
Yeah.
One thing that I've gotten into, and I only have one pair, I forgot completely about them, was I have a pair of Thorogood boots.
Yes.
And they're more the combat hiking boot style. I don't love to wear them all the time,
Right.
but I know that they're American made. They were sold for a good price and they have Vibram soles.
Right.
So that makes me happy that at least I can, off the top of my head, think of a couple of quality pairs that I have that I could bring to you if I needed help with them.
Right.
So you said you have a military background.
I do.
Well, thank you very much for your service. What branch were
Absolutely.
you?
I was U.S. Navy. I was a flight crewman on C-130s, H-57s in the Navy, and then with the Army National Guard, H-1s and H-60s, and with the reserves, I was C-130 crewman. So,
Well, thank you very much. I didn't know that. Any military man, that shows in his work. At least I believe so. You know, I mean, I don't think you could take the military out of somebody. And I have nothing but respect for anybody that's served in any way, shape, or form, and just want to say thank you.
you were worth it.
So, Jim, right here, this is all the finished orders
Yes.
ready for pickup.
Yes.
So how much volume would you guys say that you're putting in every week?
I would say we take in 10 to 12 orders per day. Might be a $25 repair, might be a $280 repair.
My goodness.
Could be a little bit higher. As far as being a dying trade, it's a dying trade because people aren't paying attention to it. Your generation tends to see something that is sustainable and can last a lifetime, and you want it. My generation was the disposable generation. I guess it also depends on the value. You break a zipper, how much does it cost to replace a zipper? How much does it cost to repair a zipper? How much does it cost to replace the garment? Pair of boots, pair of Red Wings. These were probably a $300 pair of boots. Sole's disintegrated. We put a new Vibram sole on it, and he's going to have them for a lifetime.
Now, on average, a resole costs about $150, right?
$165.
And that's standard for dress boots,
Yes.
work boots, the whole nine, just the resole in general?
It may go up a little bit if you run into things like you want a premium leather, like a JR leather or something of that nature. Premium recraft can be $250, $300.
But it's obviously worth it, though. The
Oh.
boots that they go on, people do have these boots a long time, right?
These are the people that have a $700 or $1,000 pair of boots. The boots I'm wearing that I showed earlier I bought them in 1989 for about $400.
The most expensive pair of boots I think I've had, I think those are what that is over there, a pair of Chippewa Superloggers. And they used to be made in America. They were
Right.
fantastic.
They're coming back.
I don't think I'm going to be buying a new pair now that I'm not in the trades. I don't need the steel
Right.
toe. Timeless look, though, for the boot.
Right.
I love how they look. I had the black ones just like that. I honestly think I want to start exploring other avenues for, dressier looking boots.
Absolutely.
Stylish boots that aren't fast fashion. I can't say much right now. I've got my $15 clearance shoes on right now, but I'm going to try to get every day out of these that I can.
Absolutely.
And I think that's maybe why my generation is bringing your trade a little bit higher, a little bit higher up. We don't have $1 million to spend on things. So when we do get something nice, we want it to last.
Right.
We don't want to go out and spend all kinds of money on stuff that's just going to fall apart. And if it does fall apart, we want to be able to save it. Fast fashion is killing a lot of the industry with shoes and jackets. And look at a Carhartt jacket 20 years ago versus a Carhartt jacket now.
Right.
I won't even buy it anymore. And I don't want to bash anybody, but the quality's just not there.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate everything that you're doing in here. I feel like if we can get more people to come in here, maybe more people can see this wall of shoes and
they
appreciate
will.
what they have.
They will, but it's little things. Ladies' heels. Quick $20 job. Instead of replacing a pair of boots, we replace the heel, taken care of, and usually a fairly quick job.
And it's a flawless
Stretching.
repair. I can't tell that was ever
Right.
broken.
Stretching boots. These cowboy boots hadn't been worn in years, so we have a mechanical stretcher on the inside. We're widening the vamp. Time to take it off. Contact the customer, let them know that they're done. We've still got to clean up on these. That's still on the ticket, but quick, easy solution if your shoes are too tight. Handbags. You just watch me make a couple of belts for a customer.
I did. I wanted to get that part on film, but I didn't want to be over your shoulder the whole time. And we had the camera angle for a little bit.
Right.
But other than all that, what are you looking forward to in the future? Do you think anything else is going to outcome of this industry. I know that Nate is stepping up and he's following in your footsteps, and I mean that's got to make you proud.
That makes me proud. I think, like any small business, everybody's worried about buying on the internet. 5 weeks ago, my daughter bought the framing shop,
Oh,
the
really?
print and frame shop, Piedmont Print and Frame up the street.
Oh, very nice.
She didn't stand a chance. She's got to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
I think Nate will be the same. It's not a dying trade. It's only a forgotten trade.
And I honestly think I've heard more about it in the last couple of years than I have in my whole life.
Right. You're watching
know.
videos. You're seeing Beto. You're seeing America's Cobbler. You're seeing the Tony Wyatt and Wyatt and Dad.
Yeah, all those different ones online. I just think that the biggest thing for me was like I remember being in 4th grade and doing my colonial project.
Yes.
And I ended up being the silversmith. But, you know, we had one kid that I was friends with that was the leather worker, and then another one was the cobbler.
Right.
We thought it was a funny name. That's why it stuck in my head. They
Right.
Cobbler, you know, oh, corn, cob, you know,
Right.
stuff like that. I remember not hearing about it for the rest of my childhood until the internet. And I started going online, and people started fixing shoes again, calling themselves cobblers and showcasing their
Right.
work. And I'm like, I thought that that was an old thing.
Sure.
I didn't even know cobblers were still around.
Right.
And now I feel like I'm seeing more than I ever have.
In 1980, there were 75,000 cobblers in the United States. Matter of fact, Bob LaBelle, the fellow who started this shop, I changed the name after I bought it and moved over here, but Bob lived and worked in Franklin, New Hampshire, and did not want to start another shoe repair shop in Franklin because there were already 11 cobblers in Franklin.
In Franklin alone?
In Franklin. 75,000 at that point in 1980. Today, there are less than 3,000 cobblers.
In the country or in the state?
In the country. There are only 5 of us in the state. And I'm telling you, it's an opportunity. We've got a new guy who just started yesterday when you came in, started doing stuff. Daryl's with us now, and he's full-time. I could probably triple or quadruple my business, but until I've got everything solid here, I'm not going to buy another building. We're going to have to go to shift work or something like that if we do it.
And you guys are in a great location already, though. Canal Street is awesome, and they have all these events.
Absolutely.
And I honestly think that whatever you guys are doing is working. Right before we changed the view of the camera, we had a gentleman walk in here from right outside Boston. I got the opportunity to talk to him, and I was like, oh, they don't have cobbler shops down in Boston? He goes, they probably do. He goes, I came here. He's like, I searched up good cobblers, showed me Laconia, I made the drive, and you know that means something. You know? So you don't see too much of this anymore.
I think everybody's doing the best that they can. We don't have competition in the local area, but I don't consider any of the other 5 cobblers in the state to be competition. They're all my good friends.
Well, and there's enough work to go around for all of you guys anyway.
We had the Vibram Soul Factor truck up here during Pumpkin Fest.
Yeah.
And it's a mobile shoe repair truck. And I invited all of the cobblers from around the state to come in and join us. And we all got to work on the truck. We were showcasing what we do for a living, passing out business cards. It was just a phenomenal night. Next year we'll have 2 days of it, and Vibram committed yesterday to me that they're going to be here for both days.
That is awesome. They were nice guys. I remember meeting them.
Absolutely.
So, Jim, is there anything you'd want people to know that are going to come and visit Laconia?
Well, I just want people to know that Laconia is on the rebound. We've got so many things to offer down here. I'm having fun, and I'm going to be here for a while. My daughter, like I said, has the print and frame shop. Canal Street itself, we've got Trillium, we've got accounting, we've got yoga shops. Right next door, we've got the sushi shop. So that's all right here on my street, which is less
And the
than
block
100.
parties.
And the block parties in the summer. Next summer, we're going to be every Friday night is the plan.
Really?
So we're working on sponsorships right now for that. Then we had the Pumpkin Fest. We've got the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We're going to be having stuff going on downtown. it's just the things that we need. It's nowhere near what it was 40 years ago when there were just
Right.
street parties and open houses and things like that all the time. But we're really working on it. And Main Street is packed with shops, whether it's barber shops, the candy bar, the new speakeasy, Defiant, craft beer and records. You've got vintage
just
vinyl.
In the last 4 years, like I moved up here, I think at the perfect time, because I remember Defiant was in its infancy at the time.
Right.
I went there for the first time. I was able to catch the grand opening of New Hampshire Vintage Vinyl. I was there at midnight. It was
Right.
literally, I was just driving through town, and
Dan's
I was there with
just the
Dan.
perfect young person.
Oh, yeah.
Running a business and doing it.
Hopefully he'll get on here.
Absolutely. All My Life Jewelers. They are probably the oldest running business down here right now, or not retailer. Bank of New Hampshire is the oldest business downtown,
Right.
and they're old, and yet they're brand new. They've just rebranded. They've got everything.
Yeah, because they were Laconia Savings before, right?
Right.
Okay.
Actually, Meredith Bridge Savings and Loan back in the 1800s.
Oh, wow.
So, but they're still around. They're a great bank. The people that work there are excellent. We've got other banks down here. We've got Meredith Village Savings Bank. We've got Citizens. We've got Bootleggers. That's one I need to tell people about. Bootleggers actually has 8 stores around the state. If you drop your stuff off at any of the Bootleggers locations, it comes direct to us. We also do mail-in. We're repairing for Oslo. We're repairing for Mindel. We're repairing for Loa and also Zomberlin. 3 of those were the exclusive repair center with original equipment sold. That's a huge part of our business today. But we still do the high heels. We do flip-flops. We fix belts, briefcases. We just, if Mom won't put it on her sewing machine, I'll put it on mine.
That's awesome. Well, Jim, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It was an honor to speak with you.
Absolutely.
And
a lot of fun.
I'm sorry it took us this long to meet.
Absolutely.
On today's Charity Corner, we talk about the Bolduc Park Association. Founded in 1994 by Bob and Marilyn Bolduc, it's been a recreation hub ever since. Whether you're into cross-country skiing, golf, or disc golf, Bolduc Park has it for you. They even have a pro shop that has everything that you need to participate. Bolduc Park is entirely run by volunteers, myself included. They're always looking for new people to help out, in the pro shop, on the course, or maybe even just a small donation. For more information, contact Bolduc Park Association, 282 Guilford Avenue, Guilford, New Hampshire, or info@bolducpark.org. Just a little bit could go a long way. So what made you want to follow in your dad's footsteps?
So it was mostly growing up homeschooled, looking for stuff to do, make some money on the side when I wasn't in school. And I've always been a hands-on kind of person. So learning new trades, learning new skills, put money aside so I could buy vehicles, fun stuff like that. It's been consistent. It's always needed. So I've been here ever since.
How long you been at it for?
I have been working in here since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And now at 25, I've got 13 years of being in here. I know a little bit.
Well, I mean, you seem like you flawless work while on camera at the same time, so.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Well, I mean, everything that I've seen you guys do, you seem like you lock right into your work, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like, especially with our generation, that's something that's a dying art in itself.
No, absolutely.
You know, I mean, not only are you doing something that a lot of people say is dying, but I mean, work ethic is unmatched.
Right, right. No, we obviously have a little bit of a name with all the stuff that we get in these days. Mostly with the hiking boots, which we started, what, 2020 during COVID. So just about 5 years of doing mostly cup soles. And then we get some of the fun leather soles, some cowboy boots, some fall and winter boots and whatnot.
You have anything in particular you don't like to do?
I don't know that there's a least favorite part. It just comes down to some of the tedious tasks when we're doing full rebuilds, tearing stuff down to pretty much just the leather upper. It just gets very time consuming and it gets old after a while. For a favorite part of the job, it's typically leather soles, like on cowboy boots and whatnot. It's just not something we do a whole lot of until recently. We just got a whole bunch of stuff in.
You have a lot more patience than me, that's for sure.
I try.
It just seems never ending, you know? I mean, there's so many different pair, and it's kind of funny whenever people say that being a cobbler is a dying art, because you'll sit there and, I mean, you walk into this shop and I mean, there's
Right.
seems like dozens of orders just ready to go out.
Loads to a point where we need more racks and more shelving, and obviously new help.
Right. And this is Daryl.
Yes.
How you doing, Daryl?
Doing well.
Very nice. Oh, those are nice. What are those, Chelsea's?
They're made by Thursday Boot.
Yeah, your dad was telling me about Thursday. I've seen their Facebook ads.
Standard recraft. Sweet. These will be fun and easy for tear down. It'll look smooth.
There's such a liability nowadays with letting people use your stuff that, you know, it's kind of
Wanna
hard.
do a little bit of it today.
Sure. I've worked on
Sweet.
shoes.
Sweet.
Here, let me get this off really quick because I don't want to wreck my coat if anything gets on.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I've only worked on sneakers before, so this is exciting.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I used to buy a lot of shoes from Goodwill during the pandemic, and I would use, different products and try to fix them back up.
Yeah.
There was always that guy that was on Facebook talking about saving 150
Yep.
bucks.
Yep. Yep.
Kind of got me into it.
So if we're rolling, we got
yeah.
the Thursday boot. On these, we're doing the full recraft, so we're redoing the sole, the heel. It'll be restitched, get rid of all that. So start off, what we'll end up doing is grabbing our pinchers in here, peeling layer by layer the whole top lift.
So there's the lift and then there's the regular sole.
Yes. So you've got the top lift, which is going to be the part that actually makes contact with the ground.
Okay.
That's going to be the rubber heel top lift. And then you're going to have the heel block, which gives you the little bit of height, the arch support. And then, then you're going to have the leather sole or rubber sole, whatever it may be. These ones have the little grip on here. It's kind of like a protective sole, just gives you better traction, better wear, durability, and whatnot. So clip those nails, and I'll give you this one to do. We're going to separate the leather sole from the welt, which is going to be this top layer that gets stitched onto the boot.
Mm-hmm.
Separate it like that.
Then you could just cut the stitching out.
Then we just cut all those stitches. That way we can fully separate the sole.
And on the inside, you've got, is that cork
That
spread?
is.
Okay.
So that's going to be cork. That's going to give you a little bit of cushion in between the insole or the footbed and the sole. A lot of people will use kind of a foam. Actually, they've got a layer of foam right here. We're not big fans of the foam purely because it compresses and holds that compressed shape, whereas the cork is going to form to your foot. And when it forms to your foot, it's a perfect fit every time. So by replacing it, we're going to have a brand new broken in pair of boots.
So this is a factory sole?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the nails holding the heel block are nailed from the inside of the boot, just to ensure that it doesn't fall off or start to separate. So we'll peel that insole back up so we have access. Grab a hold of the ends, pull them out. Then we're able to
Scrape the rest
get
of that
the
cork
rest
off.
of that cork out.
All right. Now, one thing I've always been curious about watching the Cobbler videos online, the stitches are perfectly gapped on the shoe itself.
Yes.
So when you go and you re-stitch that
Re-stitch
shoe
it.
to the new sole, how do you ensure that the same holes are used and you
So-
don't overlap?
I have kind of like a car, it's a timing section that you got kind of a timing to it so you can adjust for stitch length, stitch depth, how far deep into that welt it goes. Here's this one if you want to start
Sure.
messing around with it. Now, best recommendation is always push. If you try and pull it, the shoe's going to want to come with it.
Right.
So if we put it on like this, and we work from this angle and just push into it, you'll be able to start peeling that.
All right. Just as long as you're sure I'm not going to mess anything up.
Not
Remember,
going to mess
I
anything
have
up. If you can
never
mess it up,
done
I
this.
can fix it.
That's good to hear. So you want to get in the top layer like that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh. A little harder than it looks, huh?
A little bit.
I got it.
Perfect.
All right, that's first half, and then you can get
Just
the whole
start
second
peeling-
half?
Yep.
Oh.
We start peeling usually a layer or two at a time.
I was going to say, yeah, it's a little, yeah, it's on the thicker side. And these are leather as well?
They are.
All right. I know a lot of boots, whenever I look at them, especially like the more expensive boots, I'm not sure if there's a, do they use wood in certain
A
boots?
lot of people will use a particle board.
Okay.
This is going to help a little bit. This is a paint thinner, so it's going to thin out the glue a little bit.
Oh, instantly.
Just kind of softens that so it peels up a little easier.
That stuff's my new best friend.
Oh, it is.
That stuff made me want to. I went from wanting to cry to celebrating.
Exactly.
No, this will be nice, though, for anybody that says that they could do this.
A lot of
Because
the
I have never done this
DIYs.
before, and this is, I mean,
I'm glad I'm not the only one because I thought the same thing. I'm like, why is this so hard?
yeah,
Exactly.
this is not easy, man.
Yeah.
And then you got Nate who's doing it one-handed, just like, yeah, you just peel it off,
Little bit of practice, couple of years. Now, the other thing you'll see on these nails is it's a rib nail or a shank nail. So it's got little ridges in there, kind of like framing nails. So it really grips into that leather. We're going to start with this, and we're going to usually start at the toe. You'll see a little layer right there.
Separation.
Yep. Give it a little wiggle and you should start getting a little more separation. Now using the edge, we're going to kind of go along this edge. It'll only go in that 1/16 of an inch or whatever. We're just trying to separate this edge.
Oh, just trying
lightly.
to separate it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, so like that.
Then if we start to bring the angle a little more forward.
You can kind of...
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So we're just breaking that seam of glue so we can go ahead and cut those stitches with the razor blade.
Now, were you working in here, or did it start out as a hobby when you first started?
I started off by shining shoes. That was just kind of the thing I was handed to start with. Then it slowly became just doing the top lift heels, some of the ladies' heels. We started doing...
There we go.
Perfect. So now, if you go ahead and pull on the top layer of leather, we can start running those stitches. So I started off shining shoes, doing light heels and whatnot, eventually to the full soles, and then started making some boots, fully recrafting some stuff because that's not very common. Start working this side now.
All right.
And if you want, go ahead and spin the whole thing around.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The thing moves, right?
Yeah. Or just rock it like this and then pull. All we're doing is just cutting stitches. Nice. Now, because we still have the nails in here and they're not out just yet, it's going to kind of hold a little bit at the heel.
Okay.
So we'll come around here, just work those stitches around the back.
All right.
Perfect.
Good.
Should be able to get in here. Pop it off of all those nails.
And you just lift it up and you hit from the outside?
Yeah, so this is a little bit smaller than the inside here. So what I do is, instead of hitting it straight on, we'll hit the metal. I'll tilt it off to the side so it's just hanging off, but there's enough pressure that I can pop those nails through. Same with the other side. We'll just kind of angle that.
Now, every stitch on here, every stitch on sole has nails like that?
Not every single pair. For the most part, they do. Some of them, like these Allen Edmonds, they're nailed from the top side. Under this top lift, they're nailed this way. Aldens, these ones, most of them are nailed from inside to out. And that's just how they choose to do it, how to hide it. They'll usually put this little layer of foam in here and then put the leather on top so it hides those. Those don't poke into your feet.
For anybody that says that they can do this stuff themselves, so this definitely is not easy. Even with the right tools. I mean, it's not even like, oh, he's not doing it the right way. No, I'm literally with these shoe masters in the Lakes region, and I'm having a hard time with this, so.
All comes down to technique and practice. So you have successfully torn down one shoe.
All right.
We're just gonna
Then the foam
peel
and the
some of
cord.
this off. So these are basically ready for grinding. Show you some of the process there. We'll put a layer of cork on. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get to stitching a sole on.
Now that grinds off the stitches too?
So when it comes to grinding the stitches, we'll hit it on the sandpaper here.
All right.
And then we'll come back and grind all this. Now from this point, we want to get rid of each stitch so that when we restitch, it's not a mess. We go through and painstakingly pick every little thread out of there.
Little time consuming.
Little time consuming. This is the nice part where I can sit down and pick stitches for a couple of minutes. Gives me a little break from standing all day. So this machine being made in the 1940s, I've got adjustment for how long the stitch is going to be. So you can kind of see the length to match hole for hole. I can adjust how deep it's going to sit in there. So if I want it to go all the way or just out to the edge here. Watching here, where is it? You get some gears and you can see where we have a all needle. So that's going to come up and punch the hole. And usually that goes right into the old hole. Comes up. The regular needle is going to follow down through that hole. This is your looper. That's going to wrap the thread around. It starts to come up. It's going to pull that thread up, wrap it around this one. So all comes up, needle goes down, wraps it around, brings it up and over the top, creating one loop. Do it again, another loop. So on and so forth.
The level of care in their craftsmanship is unrivaled at Daub's Cobbler Shop, and I'd like to consider us all lucky that we have something like this in our area. They know how to shine shoes and soles. And I'm not just talking about vibrams. I hope they continue to thrive and they can bring people what they brought me, a sense of renewal and a childlike wonder watching their craft. At the end of the day, we all have to remember, it's not about shoes, it's about souls.